watching KOMO News.
Now at 5, it's the 4th of July. From coast to coast, Americans are celebrating the nation's 250th birthday. The message from world leaders this Independence Day and how a heat wave is impacting some of those celebrations. Plus,
temperatures are only going up from here, a warming trend I'm tracking in western Washington. Your forecast details ahead.
And a journey to citizenship. KOMO was there as a naturalization ceremony was held for 250 new U.S. citizens this afternoon. We're live with a look at that ceremony. KOMO News at 5 starts now. And good evening, I'm Jeremy Harris in for Michelle Esteban. We begin tonight with breaking news out of Chelan County. The Douglas County Sheriff's Office says a level 3 go now evacuation order has been issued for all roads in the McNeil Canyon area. This order covers homes on McNeil Canyon Road and all those connecting roads to it. The Chelan Hills fire continues to grow. It started early this morning. It's now estimated at around 3,000 acres. This map shows the extent of the evacuation order. The Sheriff's Office says the Red Cross has a shelter at Chelan Elementary School for anyone who needs it. Crews are continuing their efforts right now to contain that fire. We're going to stay on top of the situation and we'll keep you updated through the night. We're also following some breaking news out of Washington, D.C., where within the last hour, people have been told to evacuate from 4th of July events at the National Mall. Serious storms have started hitting the area as crowds were gathering for the America 250 celebrations. The Great American Fair at the National Mall was already facing challenges this morning as the East Coast is facing a very large heat wave. The fair was postponed by 2 hours due to heat, and on Friday, it was temporarily shut down due to the same reason. Those on the mall were encouraged within the last hour to go to federal buildings nearby or to the Smithsonian museums to wait out the storm. No word yet on if President Trump plans to postpone his speech, which is scheduled at the National Mall tonight at 6:45. We'll also keep you up to date on that one. Now, despite the change of plans in D.C., millions of people from coast to coast are finding their ways to celebrate America's 250th birthday. Vice President J.D. Vance was in New York City this morning to kick off the July 4th holiday.
We hold these truths to be self-evident: that all men are created equal, that they are endowed by their Creator with certain unalienable rights, and that among these rights are life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. Even today, 250 years to the day later, these words command a tremendous power over us as Americans. For 250 years, they have stirred our hearts and they've reminded us of who we are as a people.
In his remarks, Vance also urged Americans to reject criticism of the United States. His comments come after New York City Mayor Zohran Mamdani presented a 4th of July address where he said dissent is patriotic and addressed historic failures in the country, including slavery and discrimination. Now, Pope Leo called on Americans to welcome, protect, and assist immigrants in his July 4th message. The U.S.-born pontiff said immigrants' hopes, sacrifices, and contributions have shaped the United States since its earliest days. Leo wrote that receiving immigrants with compassion and generosity is both an act of charity and a recognition of their human dignity. He delivered that message while visiting the Mediterranean island of Lampedusa, a symbol of European migration and a place where thousands have died trying to reach safety. And here at home, 252 immigrants gained their U.S. citizenship in a naturalization ceremony today at Seattle Center. KOMO's Claire Weber is live at Seattle Center after hearing more about what it means to them on this very important day. Claire?
Jeremy, for most of these new citizens, today was a culmination of years of hard work. This was the Seattle Center's 41st annual ceremony, but it falling on the country's 250th birthday made it even more special.
America, America.
On America's 250th birthday, these 252 immigrants celebrate their new U.S. citizenship. Signs of patriotism and American pride decorate the crowd of people hailing from 55 different countries.
The American identity is uniquely tied to generations of immigrants like you.
Among the hundreds are Raj Maragud and his wife Cami.
It's been 26 years we've been in the country, so it's finally, we belong. We feel like we belong.
They both moved to the U.S. from India as students and are now raising 2 kids in Seattle.
And the best part that we like is that freedom to practice our own culture, religion, as well as be ourselves.
That theme carried throughout the naturalization ceremony as each person was encouraged to hold on to their individual identity.
That you weave the unique threads of the gifts that you bring, of your culture, your customs, into the fabric of this beautiful, evolving tapestry that we call America. And the rockets red glare.
After all, leaders say those differing identities are and always have been what piece together this great nation.
Immigrants have been there at our founding and our preservation. We are a melting pot, and that melting pot makes us stronger.
And China, India, and the Philippines were the three countries with the largest number of people who were naturalized here today, together making up nearly half of this year's citizenship class. Congratulations to them. Live here in Seattle tonight, Claire Weber, KOMO News.
Claire, thank you, and welcome to those new citizens. And I can tell you from experience, it's a day they and their families will never forget. There are a host of 4th of July celebrations this weekend. Dozens of people filled Legacy Square in Renton today to celebrate the 4th of July and also watch the Mexico-England World Cup match. The city is reminding residents that fireworks are banned within city limits. Let's take a look at some other celebrations around the area. Minas shared this video, the 4th of July parade held in Anacortes today, and Barry Wilson shared this shot of the 4th of July parade in Carnation. Several other cities are hosting free 4th of July parties today. That includes at Bellevue and Downtown Park, and as well as in Everett at the Port Gardner Bay. Federal Way has a celebration at the aptly named Celebration Park, and Snoqualmie has a celebration over at Community Park. Each show begins around 10 o'clock p.m. You can find more details as well as other locations for celebrations tonight on our website, KOMOnews.com. And one of the biggest 4th of July events is going to happen just in a few hours out on Lake Union. Crews are preparing 10,000 pounds of fireworks for the Seafair show over the water, with hundreds of thousands of spectators expected not only at Gasworks Parks but all over Lake Union. New this year, spectators are strongly encouraged to reserve their free ticket online and get to that viewing spot early. Gates are going to close at Gasworks once they reach capacity, or at 8 p.m., whichever happens first. This year's fireworks show is about 20 minutes long and will start around 10:20 p.m. We have our Tyler Cunnington there, and we will keep you updated as that happens later tonight. If you're planning to shoot off fireworks for the 4th of July, first responders are urging you to be careful. Every year they see a surge of emergency room visits from people who mishandled some of those fireworks and hurt themselves. In 2025, there were about 13,000 firework-related injuries nationwide. We checked in with Harborview Medical Center today. They said they have already treated 21 people with firework-related injuries.
Most of them will have amputations at different levels, including from the fingers or even the whole hand and arm. I've needed to do that as well. So they can be extremely dangerous.
Yeah, don't want to see that happen. Their first responders say you should only light fireworks one at a time. They also say keep a hose or a water bucket nearby in case there is a fire. Just be careful with those fireworks. 4th of July consistently ranks as one of the most dangerous days of the year out on the roads. About 230 people are killed on the 4th each year in crashes involving drunk drivers. That's why AAA is offering impaired drivers free rides and tows this weekend, starting at 6 p.m. today through Monday at 6 a.m. The only caveat is you have to be within 10 miles of your home, and if you do need a ride, you are encouraged to give a call over to 855-2TOW-TO-GO. That'll get you to AAA. And Sound Transit, here's another option. They're running extended Link 1 and 2 line services today for the 4th of July. Trains will be running every 10 to 15 minutes until the early morning hours. Sound Transit also has those express bus routes. They will be running on a normal Sunday schedule, as will the T line. The Sounder, the N line, the S line, they're not operating today, but they will be operating tomorrow for fans coming and going from the Mariners game. Well, and let's take a look outside as that sun comes up. You can see Rainier there in the distance, and a little bit warmer today, and boy, are we liking it, Stella.
Oh, it is just beautiful, Jeremy. The mountain came out. She was hiding earlier this morning underneath the clouds, that marine layer that we enjoyed, keeping those temperatures pretty mild in western Washington in the 60s and 70s. But over in eastern Washington, Lake Chelan, not far from here, we do have the Chelan Hills fire burning to the south and east of that area. Winds getting pretty breezy to gusty at at times across eastern and central Washington, mainly anywhere from 10 to 20 miles per hour. But some of those peak gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour. So there is concern with this red flag warning in place. Not only are we dealing with gusty winds, temperatures in the 80s and the 90s with relative humidity in the teens and the 20s. So those three combinations, that is what triggers a red flag warning that essentially just means high fire danger, a big concern, especially with the 4th of July. A lot of people likely blasting off fireworks. Looks like we've got some glitching here on the Dungeness Lighthouse camera. We did see plenty of cloud cover earlier today, but you can see as the sun started to push its way out, we're gradually seeing that clearing across the region. Temperatures overall not too bad. Remember, it could always be worse. It could be raining. It could be cooler than this. Temperatures hovering around the 70-degree mark right now, and then we'll continue to drop things down into the upper 50s and low 60s across the region. 10 p.m., that's typically when we start to see fireworks blasting off, of course, because we still have daylight here closer to that 10 p.m. hour. You'll be seeing some partly starry conditions and decent views. If you like it a little bit warmer, I've got some great news. We're in for a little bit of a warming trend, but of course, we know when temperatures warm, that also means fire danger. I've got to look at what we can expect for this upcoming week ahead.
A lot to watch with the weather, not only here in Washington, but across the country right now. New at 5, a shocking scene this morning in Tacoma. Police say 2 people are dead after crashing into a power pole, but it gets very bizarre. Their car caught fire and set off fireworks that were inside. It happened around 1:30 this morning on 74th Avenue and South Tacoma Way. Officers say a car was driving at reckless speeds right past a Lakewood police officer going westbound on 74th, but as the officer activated his lights and sirens, that car had already crossed over and crashed into a power pole near a railroad crossing. Police say the driver and passenger were immediately ejected and died at the scene. That car burst into flames, and apparently there were a lot of fireworks that were inside, and those fireworks ended up going off. Officers say it took a while to get to the driver and passenger due to those fireworks. It's unknown at this point if drugs or alcohol played a role in the crash. Tacoma police are now going to investigate that incident. And developing this afternoon, Seattle police are searching for whoever shot and killed a man in the Lake City neighborhood. Officers were called out to 40th Avenue Northeast around 8 last night and found a victim dead in the road. The shooting comes as the city of Seattle had just finished the entire month of June without a single homicide. That's the first time the city went the entire month of June without a murder since 1970. And still ahead on KOMO News, we take a look at a few more 4th of July events happening around Western Washington, including one that got featured on a national platform. Plus, in our next half hour, how the city is preparing for Seattle's biggest FIFA World Cup match yet, taking us as the U.S. takes on Belgium. For a fireworks show in the South Sound, you might want to head over to Ruston Way and the waterfront there in Tacoma. Today is the annual Summer Blast Festival that's put on by Parks Tacoma. The party started around noon with live music, crafts, and food from more than 150 vendors. The 20-minute fireworks show will start tonight at 10 o'clock. Down in the South End, Puyallup kicked off its Red, White, and Kaboom celebration on Friday. There was a whole day of activities, live performances, and food at the Washington State Fairgrounds. Festivities continue today with a day-long America 250 celebration downtown. And the country got a peek of Western Washington on ABC News today during the network's 4th of July coverage across the country. KOMO's Shannon O'Donnell was live from the Edmonds 4th of July Children's Parade and 5K run. Hundreds attended that parade. Here's a small bit of the segment with Shannon and ABC's David Muir.
All the kids here are having a good time. I have little Amina. This is her 6th 4th of July. Hi, Amina. What is your favorite part of 4th of July?
That it's that day when America got called America.
That is right. That's wonderful. We're so glad to have you here, and we're going to celebrate with the 4th of July fireworks later tonight. Are you looking forward to the fireworks, honey?
Yes.
Yes. What colors do you like the most?
The red and blue ones.
Yes, that's the right color, I think, for this time of year, right? Speaking of colors, if we're being picky, David, we've got a little bit of an overcast and chilly background here in Western Washington today, but I've seen the heat. You guys are sweltering through there on the East Coast, so we won't be too picky and complain. It's a beautiful 4th of July here in Western Washington, David. Happy 4th of July.
You two beggars can't be choosers when it comes to the weather, because right now, overcast and a little damp sounds wonderful to all of us standing here on this rooftop over Lower Manhattan. Well, we love Seattle. Right. We love the people of Seattle. Seattle. We've come there with our Made in America series. So please say hello to everyone, wish them a happy 4th, and say hello to our friends there in the KOMO Newsroom. We love what you do. Thanks, Shannon.
So great to see Shannon share some of the Northwest with the rest of the country. Let's take a look now live at the Lake Union camera. This will be lit up tonight during that fireworks show. And as Shannon said, we are enjoying some cooler temperatures than the East Coast for sure. Let's go over to meteorologist Stella Sun. Stella, pretty chilly for July.
It is chilly for July standards, running around 4 degrees cooler than where we should be sitting, but this is better than 102 degrees that some people in the East Coast are dealing with as a heat dome. An oppressive heat dome is really bringing offensive and dangerous temperatures in parts of not only the central parts of the country, but also in the eastern states towards D.C. and in New York City and parts of Florida as well. We're hanging out in the sweet 60s and 70s as we celebrate 250 years of freedom. Now, I know we love our fireworks, but there is high fire danger, especially east of the Cascade Mountains. I'm talking to you, parts of Wenatchee over in Chelan, as well as towards the Tri-Cities area. That's where we're tracking this red flag warning. Not only this, there will be some breezy winds in our neck of the woods. There will be strong westerlies, particularly towards the Strait and in parts towards the coastline here, as we've got this marine layer that's going to help to develop pockets of clouds by tomorrow morning. But I do think we'll have even more clearing by the afternoon and see temperatures even warmer by Sunday afternoon, and then getting even warmer from there. We welcome back Team USA on Monday for the match against Belgium, and it's looking like temperatures will be rebounding back into the upper 70s and low 80s. So if you like it a little bit warm, look forward to Monday. You can see here over the last 6 hours, we saw that morning marine layer starting to dissipate out, and we are dealing with partly cloudy conditions across the region. More sunshine, though, and warmer temperatures out towards the South Sound, where we did see that mercury climb to about 74 degrees in Olympia, 71 in Seattle and Tacoma. 75 degrees is normal for the state, but in the mid to upper 60s through Bellingham and in Friday Harbor. But notice in parts of central Washington towards Omak and Wenatchee, warming up to about 90 degrees. So that's running a handful of degrees warmer than when they typically would be. So we'll be teeter-tottering above normal the next few days, and then gradually, notice on Wednesday, we'll drop things down back into the low 70s. We'll start to see onshore flow return into the region and even bring us a chance for showers by Wednesday. But right now, in the meantime, we are dealing with weak onshore flow. We've got a little bit of this disturbance to the north of us, kicking up the weak onshore flow across the region. That is helping to crank in those breezy winds, and of course, as it rushes its way up the mountain and downslope, that's why we're dealing with those stronger gusts in parts of central and in eastern Washington there. This ridge of high pressure will gradually start to build in our direction, so notice we'll start to see the darker shade of orange pushing in our direction, meaning a warming trend. And then notice to the north of us, there will be a couple of weak disturbances rolling its way through. If anything, it'll just be giving us a cloud cover and cooler temperatures. And if we do see shower chances, it'll likely be towards the ocean beaches, in areas towards Bellingham, as well as Mount Vernon, and in communities towards the North Cascades. It is a nice one, though, in Bellingham right now, where we've got clear conditions at the moment. But notice that wind. It is a bit breezy there, generally gusting in the teens and 20s. Paulsbo, we've got the fireworks show out. Grew up going to that one. It's going to be a nice one with partly starry conditions in the overnight hours. 69 in Seattle, and most areas right now hovering in the 60s and the 70s. And the rest of the evening is looking pretty decent overall, low 60s as we welcome in that 10 p.m. hour, where a lot of the fireworks will be blasting off, with temperatures dropping into the low 50s and upper 40s across the region. Daytime highs, how does 76 sound in Renton, parts of Maple Valley, with a mix of the sun and the clouds. We're in for beautiful conditions, a touch breezy in parts of Port Angeles and in Sequim, but temperatures hovering in the low 70s and upper 60s. Gusty conditions, though, near the Ocean Shores area and Long Beach, with Olympia and Centralia warming up to about 79 degrees, and piping hot temperatures in parts of central and eastern Washington in the 80s and the 90s there. About 93 in Richland, 90 degrees in Yakima. So it's going to be nice and toasty for tomorrow afternoon. Thankfully, that fire threat will start to decrease in central and eastern Washington as the winds start to die down in the overnight hours. But in the meantime, Jeremy, I mean, look at the 7-day forecast. We're finally welcoming in summer in Seattle. I know we get that fake summer, a little bit of that teaser that we had last month, and now back into the 70s and 80s.
All these World Cup fans, they're going to find out our secret of how great it is here in the summer.
The secret's out.
All right, thank you so much, Stella. Coming up next, 4 decades of life-saving work. Our Amazing Washington report profiles a man who dedicated his professional life to helping the most vulnerable group of people.
Amazing Washington, sponsored by Evergreen Ford Lincoln Chevrolet.
The neonatal intensive care unit at Swedish Hospital's First Hill campus is focused on caring for our region's sickest and most premature babies. In tonight's Amazing Washington report, we introduce you to one man who's been in the middle of it for the last 4 decades, not just for those babies, but also for their families.
There's a place inside Swedish Hospital capable of miracles.
This is where babies first come, when they're first admitted, where we can pretty much use any resource that they need.
And if you're talking about miracle workers, look no further than Dr. Terrence Sweeney. Since 1985, he has cared for thousands of the smallest, most fragile babies, some weighing in at only 13 ounces.
A lot of people, deliveries are just a couple times in your life you get to experience, whereas for me, this is something I might do 4 or 5 more times a night.
Over 40-plus years, Dr. Sweeney helped grow the Swedish NICU from 12 beds to 80, making it one of the largest Level 4 NICUs on the West Coast. But what Dr. Sweeney really marvels at most is the resilience of families during unimaginable moments.
And to have them think fondly of the staff after they've been through such a trauma is really something that's impressive. For families to be so resilient.
At 72, he's still pulling 24-hour shifts.
I've started having a couple of parents who were preemies themselves having their own child who's a preemie admitted to the NICU. So it's like a 2-generation experience.
He is the foundation of this unit.
Colleague Kimberly Van Winkle says it's a career well-lived.
It's going to be very sad. He's been a mentor to me on how to care for these babies.
Which is what makes today so hard. This is Dr. Sweeney's final day before retirement. After 43 years of working on life's precious miracles, Dr. Sweeney finished his rounds.
Well, I'm going to still be in the baby business because I have 9 grandkids.
To a round of applause of his own.
And for Dr. Sweeney, medicine is a family affair. His son also works at Swedish as an ER nurse. When we come back, Team USA is back in town for a win-or-go-home showdown with Belgium. How the city is getting ready for what's expected to be the biggest match yet. Plus, a passenger who disrupted an international flight to Seattle. He's now facing federal charges. We'll show you the new video we just obtained by police. And those stories and more when KOMO returns.
You're watching KOMO News.
Welcome back. I'm Jeremy Harris. Here's what's making headlines in our second half hour of KOMO News at 5. As the nation celebrates America's 250th birthday, today 252 immigrants gained their U.S. citizenship in a naturalization ceremony at the Seattle Center. This was Seattle Center's 41st annual ceremony, but with it falling on the country's birthday, that made it even more special for those immigrants, some of whom came from China, India, and the Philippines. One of the biggest 4th of July events is taking place tonight on Lake Union. Crews are preparing 10,000 pounds of fireworks for the Seafair show over the water, with hundreds of thousands of spectators expected at Gasworks and also around Lake Union. New this year, spectators, they're strongly encouraged to reserve a ticket online. It's free, but you have to get to that viewing spot early because the gates are going to close at Gasworks Park as soon as they've reached capacity or by 8 p.m., whichever happens first. This year's fireworks show is about 20 minutes long, and it's going to start tonight at 10:20. And developing this afternoon, Tacoma police are investigating a deadly crash that happened this morning in Lakewood. Lakewood police say that around 1:30 in the morning, an officer saw a car driving recklessly westbound on 74th Street. And about the same time that officer activated his lights and sirens, the car had already crossed the lane, crashed into a power pole right near the railroad tracks. Police say the driver and passenger were ejected and died at the scene, but here's where it gets very strange. That car burst into flames because apparently there was were fireworks inside of it that were going off. Officers say it took a while to get the fire department there and respond and get the driver and passenger due to those fireworks. It's unknown if drugs or alcohol played a role in the crash. Tacoma police are now investigating. And an airline passenger, well, he could end up in federal prison for his actions on board a flight from Ireland to Seattle. Flight attendants had to handcuff the man to his seat for hours. New video from police shows officers responding to that flight last month. The Port of Seattle police met this flight from Ireland at the gate. Their target, this man sitting in row 14, who the flight crew said had been out of control on the way into Seattle on June 19th.
Can you walk straight? Stop. Look, you have 4 cops right here.
Once he's in custody and removed from the plane, other passengers tell officers about what happened.
He was being aggressive to this lady sitting next to him, saying, "You want some alcohol? Do you want some alcohol? Hey, do you want any of these pills?" And then he opened something and it sprayed everywhere and got her soaking wet.
Charging documents say James Noble was intoxicated and belligerent, at one point wrapping his arms around a flight attendant. It took 7 flight attendants to restrain him in his seat, and the charges say he violently resisted those restraints to the point they began to fail.
And then went up to the galley, tried to get more alcohol, wasn't able to stand or walk. Then he started getting agitated. He wouldn't sit down. I talked to
The FBI was called out to the flight as well. They arrested Noble, and he was charged with interference with a flight crew.
Unruly passenger, we need to get off the airplane.
The FAA and airlines have been trying to get a handle on drunk and unruly passengers.
As you know, and as you have heard, alcohol has been a major contributor.
They've started campaigns warning passengers they will face huge fines and federal prosecution if they disrupt a flight.
We believe that when people start to actually face jail time, there's going to be a lot of sobering up around the country. And we will not have these bad actors, who are a few among the millions who travel every day, disrupting the safety and security of everyone else.
Well, after 5 World Cup matches here in Seattle, the biggest and hopefully best is still yet to come. The USA faces Belgium in a round of 16 elimination match at Lumen Field on Monday at 5 p.m. As excitement builds, KOMO's Lynn Ann Wynn shows us how the city is preparing.
Team USA is headed back to Seattle to face off against Belgium in the round of 16. And the energy in the Emerald City is buzzing.
I got all the matches here.
For fans like Laura Musso Escude, who's been to every World Cup match in Seattle and every Argentina match so far, this year's World Cup has been full of memories that will last her a lifetime.
The one event that got me the most is when the USA played here and everybody sings the national anthem. Yeah. I have never seen all my life that I've been here in the United States. That was the top moment of my World Cup.
Pioneer Square businesses like Cone and Steiner also excited to have Team USA and the crowds they bring with them back in town.
Easily triple for us the crowd of the other game days.
It's been all hands on deck here to handle the extra crowds as they prep for Monday.
I mean, thrilled, and it's we've been preparing all day, like, okay, what do we need to get in? Tomorrow's a holiday. What deliveries do we have? I mean, we have walls of beer and water, basically. We'll be ready.
But for those still hoping to score tickets to the match, it'll cost you. A quick check on resale sites shows seats for Monday's match anywhere from $3,300 to more than $22,000. And it's looking like potentially another sellout crowd at Lumen Field as the Seattle FIFA World Cup Organizing Committee prepares for record-breaking crowds Monday.
You know, for the Australia match, we had 15,000 USA crazed fans marching. We had 8,000 Australian fans marching from the south to the north. We're expecting to exceed all those numbers for this upcoming match.
Lynn Ann Wynn, KOMO News.
They've got walls of beer and water. They're ready for it. The U.S. men's national team arrived in Seattle from the Bay Area yesterday. They're practicing at the University of Washington this weekend ahead of Monday's match. Nico Tamurian will bring us more from their practice coming up in sports. And coming up next, a special exhibit now open at the Smithsonian to mark America's 250th anniversary. We get a peek inside at American Aspirations next. Well, to mark America's 250th anniversary, historians at the Smithsonian Institution in Washington, D.C. tell the story of the United States with a new exhibit called American Aspirations. One of the 150 million objects in the Smithsonian collection, 30 were selected to represent America's tradition of aspiring for more. National correspondent Athra Alsashar takes us inside the exhibit.
What Jefferson and the founders settled on was this idea of inalienable rights, of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness.
250 years ago, here on this portable desk, Thomas Jefferson wrote those revolutionary words.
And those pursuits have inspired Americans for generations.
Curator Abir Saha helped handpick 30 objects that tell the story of these pursuits in the new American Aspirations exhibit at the Smithsonian Castle here in the nation's capital.
We're, in a sense, inviting visitors to ask themselves, what are the aspirations that I see for America?
On display is George Washington's candle stand. By its light in 1796, he wrote his aspirations for the new nation in his farewell address.
Until then, American democracy was still an experiment. George Washington's famous for asking us not to become so partisan that we lose sight of what makes us the United States.
Here, too, is a tangible reminder of the Union teetering on collapse in the Civil War.
So this is the Men of Color broadside. Frederick Douglass exhorted African Americans to take on this call to arms, right? It says, men of color to our arms now or never. And when they are able to do that, who can deny them citizenship? So this is a maquette, a model of the Statue of Liberty made by the designer, Frederick August Bartholdi. Less known and less remembered is the fact that this is a gift from France to acknowledge and celebrate the end of slavery in America.
Here, you'll also find artifacts of Americans leading the world to new frontiers.
Electronic, numerical, integrator, and computer. What you're seeing here is one component of a very large mainframe computer that would probably have filled this entire room. This was perhaps the moment of the birth of the digital age.
An age still shaping our lives today and wouldn't be possible without American aspiration.
There's a sense in which every step forward builds on every other step taken in the past.
In Washington, I'm Atra El-Nashar reporting.
Temperatures in the 80s return to western Washington. I've got a look at your forecast details ahead.
Today, you can stop by Seattle's Museum of History and Industry for a special 4th of July display. It's called For Which It Stands. It features several American flags that flew during pivotal moments in U.S. and Seattle history. That includes an early flag that flew over the city when it first became incorporated as an American city, the flag that Seattle native Jim Whittaker raised at the summit of Mount Everest, and the flag raised by the UW men's rowing team at the 1936 Olympics.
I hope people have a chance to both remember history, but also to reflect on how the flag symbolizes the best of patriotism, the ideals that bring us together, and that we're inspired by that to really work together towards a more perfect union, as the founders stated.
The museum also has tickets available for an exhibit coming later this month. It's called the Freedom Plane National Tour, Documents That Forged a Nation. Several documents pivotal to the founding of the U.S. will be on display, including an original engraving of the Declaration of Independence. That exhibit will be at the museum from July 29th through August 17th. And taking a live look there over the city. Boy, it's getting sunny this afternoon. Very nice. I'm sure anyone out there is enjoying a little bit of the sunny weather. Stella?
Yes, and hopefully slathering on all of that sunscreen and then having a blanket or jacket close if you'll be outdoors over the next several hours. It's comfortable, not too hot, not too cold, though we are airing a few degrees cooler than where we should be as we celebrate America's 250th birthday. This bald eagle enjoying the blue skies that finally cleared out after some of the morning clouds. You'll likely need that light jacket or sweater as temperatures will be dropping down into the low 60s and upper 50s as fireworks are blasting off by that 10 p.m. hour. If you like it a bit warmer than this afternoon, tomorrow into Monday, we're just going to tack on even more mercury. So we'll be warming up about 5 degrees tomorrow afternoon and then around 10 degrees by Monday afternoon. Of course, that is going to be a concern, though, as we welcome in the drier and warmer temperatures temperatures, that also means increasing fire danger in parts of western Washington as a lot of our vegetation start to dry out. Though we will be seeing some cooler weather as well as a slight shower chance, mainly towards the mountains and our communities towards the ocean beaches as we look ahead towards Wednesday. High temperatures today topping out at 71 degrees in Seattle, 72 degrees in Chehalis, and notice in parts of central and eastern Washington, mainly in the 80s and then in the 90s. It is not just eastern Washington that is dealing with warmer than normal temperatures. We've got this oppressive heat dome impacting the eastern states right now. So we did see that mercury climb to 100 degrees in New York City earlier today, 103 in D.C., mainly in the 90s from Wichita to Charleston. Again, this is adding on that humidity factor, so temperatures could actually be reading anywhere from 5 to 10 degrees warmer than where it should be. Triple-digit heat through Phoenix and in Las Vegas, even seeing plenty of 90s through Billings, Montana, and parts of Boise, Idaho. Meanwhile, we're dealing with slightly cooler temperatures. That is thanks to that weak onshore flow that brought us the clouds with that eventual gradual clearing. But as those winds, those westerly winds, push its way up the mountains and downslope towards central and eastern Washington, it starts to increase in terms of the wind speed. So we do have a red flag warning in place with those west-southwesterly gusts upwards of 35 miles per hour. So if we were to get a new wildfire start, any fireworks, chains, or just outdoor burning could spread and grow rapidly. But thankfully, we'll start to see that fire threat start to die down. We'll be dealing with a little bit of marine layer clouds tomorrow morning, gradually clearing things out, and then a northerly wind. So not as strong of that westerly wind pushing its way through as we welcome in a ridge of high pressure across the region. And then other than some morning mist and some clouds towards the ocean beaches, we'll be dealing with beautiful conditions and a nice, really nice temperature, I think, over on the pitch for the USA-Belgium game, the final match here in Seattle. It's going to be at 5 p.m. around 80 degrees and temperatures cooling into the mid-70s as we hopefully wrap up another Team USA win. Winds won't be that big of an issue, generally anywhere from 5 to about 15 miles per hour coming from a northerly direction. Mount Rainier right now, it's a beautiful one as a lot of people are enjoying our beautiful national park, but still a bit more cloud cover over towards Lake Crescent and over towards the Olympic National Forest there. Meanwhile, here in Seattle, partly to mostly sunny conditions, 69 degrees, winds nice and calm, generally coming from a westerly direction, dropping things down into the low 60s by about 10 and 11 p.m., so a light jacket might be needed for the fireworks. Overnight temperatures mainly in the low 50s across the region with daytime highs tomorrow, a pair of lucky sevens in Issaquah, 78 degrees in Lakewood, a mix of the sun and the clouds towards Edmonds, and 71 degrees there. Winds will be a touch breezy towards Port Angeles and in Sequim with daytime highs in the upper 60s and low 70s there. You can expect those peak gusts upwards of 15 to 20 miles per hour and cooler temperatures in Ocean Shores and in Long Beach in the low 60s. Meanwhile, Castle Rock and Vancouver warming into the low 80s there, and even in central and eastern Washington as well. Warming trend in Yakima and Richland in the low 90s. So overall, this 7-day forecast, I think it's a crowd pleaser. It is not too terribly hot. We're not talking 90 degrees. And the warmest day of the next 7 will be on Monday, 82. That's not too bad. And then on Wednesday, other than the clouds and the slight shower chance towards the ocean beaches and mainly towards the North Cascades, it's looking pretty dry in our neck of the woods.
Well, absolutely. I think you said it. A lot of danger in these conditions, and we're especially keeping close eyes on that fire near Chelan.
Yeah, it's a big concern, especially because as it gets closer, to some of the communities nearby, near the Chelan Hills area. So that's going to be something that we'll be watching.
Yeah, our prayers for those folks out there and also for the firefighters. Coming up next, Team USA is preparing for their big match on Monday at the University of Washington. Nico joins us from UW with a look at their practice session and mindset heading into Monday's game.
And now, the Como Sports Desk, presented by Xfinity.
Well, after 5 World Cup matches here in Seattle, the biggest one still yet to come. The USA faces Belgium in a round of 16 elimination match at Lumen Field Monday at 5 p.m. The U.S. men's national team is in Seattle right now practicing at the University of Washington. We go now to Sports Director Nico Tamurian, who attended their training session this afternoon.
Welcome to the University of Washington soccer field. Of course, Team USA is calling home all ahead of that matchup with Belgium on Monday. The biggest matchup in decades, perhaps ever, for this national team. Rest assured, this team is ready to roll through this World Cup tournament.
We worked so hard for this moment, you know. We worked 4 years for this. Everybody tried to be in the squad. Everybody worked for this moment, and you know, we are the ones that can represent the country on this big stage. So you know, the belief and the motivation is max.
It's a huge mental boost in a tournament like this, in any tournament. But you know, to have that under your belt, you know, obviously in the group stage the way we did, and then the you know, the game against Bosnia in the knockouts to do it with you know, 10 men for 30 plus minutes. It's a good sign of the group and the resilience and the grit and the, you know, the attitude that we have, you know, approached with all the games.
As we know, it is a 5 o'clock kickoff Monday at Seattle Stadium, as it were. No question about it. The march to the match, all of it will be absolutely electric. The world has its eyes on Seattle, and there's a reason Team USA wanted to be playing matches here, just like we saw against Australia a couple weeks ago. Right now, though, here in the University of Washington campus, Nico Tamuri in KOMO Sports.
Great to see Nico out there, and we will all see you there on Monday. And today, a knockout win for the Mariners this 4th of July. They faced off against the Toronto Blue Jays and pulled off a stellar win. The final score 11-0. That's right, the two teams will face off again tomorrow at 2 p.m. And the Storm are back in action for this afternoon on the 4th of July. Their revenge is on the mind against Portland Fire. It's the first regular season matchup with Portland and Seattle in 24 years. That game airs right here on KOMO in just a few minutes at 6 p.m. And again, all eyes are going to be on the weather leading into this weekend, and then, of course, for World Cup on Monday.
Yeah, and it's looking like the weather will be cooperating here. It's not going to be as cool and cloudy as it was the last 2 World Cup matches. That's going to be the warmest day on Monday. 82 degrees will generally be above normal throughout at least Wednesday. Clouds cruise its way and slight chance for showers, and then we rebound back into the sweet 70s by next week. Jeremy.
All right, looking forward to that. Well, it's a 4th of July tradition. The Nathan's famous international hot dog eating contest was held on Coney Island today. Bottomless pit Joey Chestnut once again taking home the crown, celebrating the 250th birthday of America with relish. Chestnut scarfed down 66 hot dogs in 10 minutes to secure his astounding 18th mustard belt and win the $10,000 prize. Those 66 hot dogs pale in comparison to his own record of 76 francs that he set in the competition in 2021. I don't know that I could eat 66 hot dogs even for $10,000.
But it's nice to watch that American legend do that again.
All right, thanks for joining us tonight. We'll see you at 11.